mean, marriage puts you in a situation where you are with somebody you may not be able to be intimate with.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're single, you're just going about living your life.
I've used this analogy, but it's a while. When you get married and you have that intimate relationship with someone, your body is different now. And it is like... Welcome back, everyone. Craig and Jonah. It's been a little while. I was off grid.
Yeah, you were off the grid.
Camping. Came back with the same number of children we went with. Still married.
Well, that's good.
And we're talking about doing it again. So I guess call it an accomplishment.
It was a successful vacation.
Yeah. So What you got for us, Jonah?
Well, just yesterday, in the middle of the day. So we have a friend that we both know that he injured his bicep earlier this year. And it's interesting because he's kind of a bodybuilder. And the ladies of our parish have talked about his biceps.
I know some of those ladies.
But he's a married man. Mm-hmm. He's a very humble and honest guy, like just a really good guy. He's a Latin Mass goer, but not in a pretentious way.
Try not to hold that against him.
No, yeah. And that's just the thing. Like when I got there, he had a Father Ripperger mug, and he talked about the Latin Mass again. He brought it up, and he's a super humble guy, not the kind of Latin Mass goers we kind of pick on. Like he is truly a faithful guy, and faithful to the point that it's inspirational. And yesterday, during the middle of the day, I just felt compelled to ask him if he needed help baling hay, because he had talked to me about it for baling hay, there's 3 crops, basically one in June, July, and August. And for the June one, it got kind of rained out for him, and he ended up round baling, so he didn't need our help. But then I hadn't talked to him like a month, and I felt compelled just to text him and see if he needed help. Like it was honestly kind of a weird moment, because it was like, do this right now was what I felt in my head. And I texted him, and he's like, yeah, I could use your help tonight if you can. And the funny thing is that I didn't want to text him, because we're going out of town on vacation, and we have been going and going and going right now. I feel like my life is kind of like the movie Scarface, in that scene where they're like the song "Push It to the Limit," except I don't have cocaine to get me through this. We are just going right now. And so I got there, and he thought it was only going to be like 60 bales, which would be like an hour of work. We get there, and he's like, well, I miscalculated. It's like 200. And he said that we were
Small
talking
square
about
bales.
Yeah. And my boys were there too, the older 2 boys. And the older 2 boys did a great job. They were very helpful. I was really proud of them. They worked really hard. And the guy paid us too, so the kids were happy with that. But at the end, he was like, it's really interesting, because earlier in the day, his wife was freaking out about how they're going to get the hay done, because he's only got one arm. And he's like, I'll just do it by myself. It's going to be fine. And he's like,
such a guy.
He told
what a typical guy.
Well, that's true. But he said he walked out to the field and he saw how much hay there was. And he looked at it and he goes, Lord, if I'm meant to have help, please provide. And I text him at that moment. Yeah. And it's just so strange, but he's so faithful. Like he truly is like a man who lives humbly, who lives by his faith, and it's very inspirational. And I felt like it blew my mind, because I felt compelled at that moment to text him. Yeah. So you could look at it a lot of different ways, but I think we are all connected through God in some regards. And
see, this turned out much better, Jonah, than the last time that God told you to do something in you.
Yeah, I refused to go to Nineveh. And but yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting how God works in mysterious ways. And I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, because I did not want to do it, as far as not because of him, but just we were really busy. And I was like, why would I put myself through this, when I have this much going on? But it worked out great. And I was so proud of the boys again.
That's wild.
For doing it.
What a great God. You made up for the guy that you wouldn't hug on the beach.
Yeah.
The Lord gave you another chance.
He did give me another chance, and I followed through this time, maybe. That or maybe the Lord protects me from the guy on the beach. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he knew he needed to be throwing hay in a couple of weeks. How about that? Well, good for you.
Yeah.
So, bringing it back to the normal topics here. So I think one of the last episodes that people have heard before this, we were getting ready. I think it's actually the one that's going out tomorrow night, from standpoint of recording this. And so we missed the peak in our last cycle.
Like it never showed up.
It never showed up. But it was a more or less a normal length cycle, maybe a day or two longer. But so we missed the opportunity to do something that we usually get towards the end of the cycle, 4 or 5 days. So we missed that, which is kind of a bummer. And then the news cycle started, and of course, it happened when we were scheduled to be out for a week camping with the family.
It's a bad time.
Not a great time. Which wouldn't have been the end of the world, except that we had our 15-year-old son with us, and that was asking a bit much of the wife.
Are you all in one tent?
Yeah.
Even
in the same campsite, I don't know that it would have made a difference.
Understandable. I get it.
So, in before,
but you can go to the band, right, or whatever. Like, I mean, there's got to be.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well, just wait.
Okay. All right.
So, and before I get to that story, I'm going to leave you guys kind of hang in here a little bit. So she's like, well, we're not going to let that happen again. And so there's a secondary set of test strips.
Okay.
Poor John Farrell's heart is bleeding right now.
Well,
sorry, John. You can take out your aggression in the comments, help the algorithm out a little bit.
Move the needle for us.
Yeah. So the Marquette method that we use is daily urine strips. And then there's and it basically tells you low, medium, and peak or ovulation. I think is how it's low, high, and ovulation. I think so. Low is kind of normal day. High is you're kind of getting up to it, and then ovulation or peak, whatever it is. So we had the normal low, high readings, but never the peak or ovulation. And the way the method works, if you're following the method, which we are
committed to,
mostly so, you can't do anything because it's so many days after you have a confirmed ovulation is the way it works.
Okay.
And we've been caught before.
Just the way God intended.
Yeah.
For thousands of years, people have been doing this.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we didn't get that, and so and there's additional test strips that you could do that are a little more sensitive around the peak that pick it up, and we think that the ovulation tester just missed it. We don't think that she didn't ovulate. We think it was just a insensitivity, I guess, to it. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, but we'll see. But anyway, so new cycle starts. We're not pregnant or anything like that. And of course, it's going to, you get the first 5 days of a new cycle, which for practical purposes, the first 3 days are going to be off limits anyway. So you can't, for us, it's day 4 or 5 are kind of the sweet spot where you're going to try and make something happen. Okay. Otherwise, then you're on to 2 to 3 weeks of abstinence all the time after that. So day 5 was going to land on like the second or third to last day of the trip, like right during the camping trip.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure how she was going to play that. I was waiting for a good opportunity, trying to bring it up organically. And this is
that's really funny.
So it did take much. It did take much. I was like, so anyway, and she's like, she knew exactly. Like that was literally all I had to say.
Waiting for the segue.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. So anyway, and she's like, I said, what do you? Any thoughts on? Are we going to try something up here? Are we gonna cheat a couple days, wait till we get home? Am I just gonna miss this month again?
We, not you.
We. It just hits one of us harder than the other. But again, I won't say who is who. So anyway, and I was pretty certain the answer was not going to be the van, the beach.
I'm not gonna fog up the windows.
No Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't think I have the flexibility for crawling in there anyway. So I was pretty certain I knew the answer to that. So we were talking. She's like, "Well, we'll be like day 7 when we come back."
Oh.
She's like, "That's as far as I'm willing to push it." So day 7 was the last day of the trip, which of course, and this is the way my mind works. So day 7, it was yesterday, the day we were coming back, and we got packed up. But it's a 3.5 hour to 4 hour drive from their home, and I'm assuming the kids are going to sleep the whole trip, and then they'll be up until like 2 a.m. So not ideal circumstances. So in my mind, I'm preparing for the worst. Like I'm just like, just assume nothing's going to happen. I'm sure by the next day she's not going to be interested. And got home, got the kids, got unpacked. All but the youngest went to sleep at a normal time, and of course the youngest was holding out at freaking 10:30 at night. And my wife was starting to yawn a little bit, which is not great.
It's not looking good.
Not looking good. And I in my mind, like I can't convey how stressful that day is.
You've got the pitcher warmed up on the mound.
Yeah.
The drizzle.
I'm just like, come on, strike this guy out.
Rumbles of thunder in the
distance. Like the cortisol, I don't know, the inflammatory response is so real. Like, I don't know how to tell you. Like, I just start to feel sick to my stomach. And I'm just looking at this child. And I'm like, so at one point, we're up watching Blippi. It's just us watching Blippi. And she's starting to look a little drowsy, and she crawls over my wife's lap and starts to nurse and is moving. All of a sudden she gets up. So I walk over and I turn the light switch off in the room and kind of turn the volume down on the TV. Little girl gets up, walks over, turns the light off, like switch on. Like, this jousting match
battle of will
with this 2-year-old. And again, now I don't know if I've told this story before, but I've suggested to my wife, we have 3 babysitters in the house who I know, the one I can hear out in the door is just up playing on video games. Just like, we have these kids here.
Give you $50 for 15 minutes.
Give me 15 minutes. Like I would absolutely pay them and they would absolutely do it.
They would.
But my wife is like, no, they're not going to know.
Just like in the movie Gladiator.
Yeah, no. It's fine. It's bad enough they know that we do it, but we are not going to let them know when we're doing it. Like that's a line too far. But I tell you, like if that one woman out there that's listening to this show, take advantage of that. You've gone through all this investment of raising teenagers. Make use of them. They're not doing anything else for you.
It's true. They learn responsibility.
Holy cow! Like this solution seems so like
it's built in,
so obvious. It's like it's natural law. It's the divine order here.
Yep. Take care of younger siblings. You can go for like a half an hour.
God, I mean, like if I'd have known that was an option, my whole day would have been so much less stressful because I don't have to worry. I know we're gonna get. I know we have a retractable roof and we're gonna get the game played.
Start closing the door.
Yes, I know we'll play the game today. Barring some freak power outage or hurricane, the game will get played today. Not so. We do not have a roof.
So
anyway, and I've already asked her that, and I was like, please offer that up, because she knows. I mean, it had been over a month, which is now
that's like a year in man lives or whatever.
I will confirm though, however, that the suffering in the 30 days is not as bad as the suffering at day 7. He's rolling his eyes over here.
Well, maybe you've unlocked something. I don't know.
Just stuff starts to die. Like, I'm not saying it's great, but it's just not as bad. The worst part is day 5 through 8, 10, 5. Just that part I hate.
And I think that's maybe where the connection dies, and then you're just living with the roommate.
Now I'm going to push back on that, but
in
a different. I mean, for me, it's much more just the physiological anguish of, like, I don't know, I don't know. It's just it's like feeling kind of nauseous in a different part of your body.
Yeah.
That anyway. So
you don't think you got to the roommate stage in 30 days?
We were doing really good. Like I this is gonna like destroy all the. I mean,
we're all about honesty and transparency here.
Like, our marriage is like, it was really good. Like, we were, other than we just couldn't do this. And inside I was just
dying inside.
Okay. But our relationship was fine and great. Like, really, really good.
That's great.
So I don't know what to make of that other than I'm dying inside. So if it matters that I'm
to anybody
that I'm dying inside.
I don't think anybody cares.
I don't think anybody cares either.
That's your own problem.
Yeah. But I'm being transparent here.
Yep.
So anyway, in this battle of the wits, the 2-year-old, my wife's starting to yawn. My ticket out of this is literally over there playing on video games on my internet. And I'm just sitting here dying inside with the likelihood that if we wait too much longer, it's going to be another 2 to 3 weeks before I have another chance. That seems like a long time.
It does, yeah.
So,
but I mean, for a guy like you that's gone 30 days, what's another 3 weeks? It's no big deal. Maybe let it die a little more and it'll get better.
Part of me in my mind was like, now that I'm past that worst stage, let's just stick with it.
Just stay in the misery.
Just stay in the misery. Like, it's like a dull toothache instead of an acute pounding keeps you up at night thing.
All right. Eventually the tooth dies and falls out.
Eventually it dies and you look like my cousin from the South. Okay. Not going to name any particular states. All right. But
so there must be.
Baby went to sleep.
Oh, thanks for looking up.
And it was really good.
The storm is clearing.
Woo! It was incredible.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I mean,
so but now you're gonna start with the pain and anger.
Now I get to start all over again, but it's worth it today.
So yeah, that's the problem.
Today is great. Like it is, as horrible as it is to go that long, it is always like really, really great.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But you got to die, and I guess die to ourselves, whatever. Which that part of it actually that doesn't bother me so much. It's the fact that if you don't die, if you don't accept the dying, and you might go to hell. That part of it, I have a major problem with.
Yeah, because it is something that affects your entire life. Like, I mean, I don't know how you felt as far as like getting your other responsibilities done and stuff like that, but it does make it more difficult to me.
I was definitely more irritable. I mean, I was definitely, just less patient.
Like, I just feel like I don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah.
Like when it's a longer absence period, like there's just no bandwidth there. I can get like tasks done, but I can only focus on like, very limited things.
It is. You are, and I think that's the problem is that, as a dad, as a husband, especially when you've got a growing family, you need to be on your A game as much as you can.
All day, every day.
Sea level Jonah and Craig is not
going to cut it.
I'm
not as far as thriving.
Right. I'm on my A game today. I'll be on my B+ game tomorrow and C on 3 days from now, and then I'll be back in the pits of despair.
At least you know how it's going to go.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know. Anyway.
Well.
Whew.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
Yes. It's such a weird, like I said, it's such a weird dynamic. In the missing piece to it really, like, is at the end of the day, it's outside my control.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the control of my wife and my toddler and other circumstances, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just adds stress that just seems to me would be nice not to have. Right.
Whatever you do, don't take matters into your own hands.
Yeah. I know what happens. Like I just the idea that I don't know. I don't know that I'll ever understand how someone concluded that under those circumstances,
mm-hmm.
it's a sin at
all.
Well,
they weren't married.
Yeah.
I mean, for a guy that's not married, that doesn't live with a woman mm-hmm. that he's been mm-hmm. romantic with, mm-hmm. you can't even imagine what it's like.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that's fair to say.
Yep. I'm certain of that. I'm just absolutely certain of that.
Like there are times where I look at my wife and just think how beautiful she is, and she's just attractive. I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
It's pretty natural.
Yeah. My wife, we were out camping. We were at the lake. My wife's wearing a nice bathing suit. Nothing extravagant or whatever, but she looks really good. Right?
Yeah.
And I want to be able to look at my wife, but
don't objectify her.
It's really really tough. It's tough. This stuff is really tough. Like I don't and it's not that I don't think that I'm a crybaby, because I deal with a lot of other tough crap on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
None of that comes close to the level of, I don't know, frustration or just difficulty that this adds to the life.
And this is kind of like a Twitter battle we had like a few weeks ago with that guy who was single, mm-hmm. and he was telling us how, I think he was talking, you started the argument about
probably
just how single people should be aware that getting married might make this more difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I certainly didn't think that was possible when I was single.
No, but I agree too. Mm-hmm. I mean, marriage puts you in a situation where you are with somebody you may not be able to be intimate with.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're single, you're just going about living your life.
I've used this analogy, but it's a while. When you get married and you have that intimate relationship with someone, your body is different now. And it is like you start up the nuclear reactor. Like when you keep the two isotopes or whatever, I'm sorry, Jonah, and all the scientists out there, but you keep the things apart, fine, but you put them together, you got to keep that thing cool. Like you can't just walk away from it. Like it will melt down.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with these bodies. I mean, eventually, yeah, but you start a chain reaction that, every time you come back together, it restarts that, and you got to cool that sucker down. I don't know.
And if you wait too long, you risk a meltdown.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know how else to say it other than it's it's 20 years on, and it's same story. 20 mm-hmm. some years we've been married, and
Joe Pilot would suggest that it never cools down.
Yeah, that's my fear.
Or, who doesn't want to live the life of, Mr. Pilot there?
Yeah. Yeah. We all strive to be that guy.
It's true.
So anyway, well, Okay. Well, I think we wrap that one up. We got another topic I think we
Yeah.
want to dig a little deeper in. So anyway, I'm it's been a good, just it's been a tough month and a half, but it's been
But you finished strong.
finished strong for now. So yeah,
Push it to the limit though on day 7.
pushed the button, yeah, reset it. We're okay. So anyway, gosh, I hope we didn't. I don't know.
You never know.
Gosh, that'd be my luck.
Tease alert for the next episode. We bought pregnancy tests.
Yeah. I think my wife will be angry, but it's kind of that borderline, like if she'll be like, well, if it happens, then obviously God wanted it, so
Yep.
whatever.
There isn't. Yep.
Yeah,
It's true.
so that's kind of how you have to live life as an NFP couple. Like, well, if it happens, it must be God's will.
You're living on the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, okay. Thank you, Jonah.
You bet.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Bye.
Until next time, everyone. Have a good one.